So in the tub with me today is Johnny Ray Alt, who is a co-founder or you're a part of HQ.
Right, I'm the director.
You're the director?
Yeah.
Oh, well, excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's why I'm in a suit.
So when I was talking with you over email, you brought up a really good point where you said you don't really consider yourself too much of an artist anymore. You find that you're more of an arts administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And that really struck my curiosity, and I'm wondering if you could describe to me what your role is as an art administrator.
So my role as an art administrator would be running HQ, essentially. It's a nonprofit, so it takes a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes work to make sure that everything is above the book. We're doing everything kosher. As the director, though, I also get to have the vision, which is really nice. I get to have my little power trip, too, but also keep it running.
Yeah. What sparked that shift between making your own personal work and wanting to facilitate others making their work?
It started as kind of a joke when I was nearing the end of my undergrad. You know, when you get towards the end of it, you kind of are struck with this realization, like, no one outside of school cares about me. Like, I have to, like, start over, essentially. So conversations began on how to kind of fake it till you make it, essentially. And we were looking at a lot of artist-run spaces around town. And so we thought, why don't we do that?
And when you say we, who else are you talking about?
I originally started the project with Andre Philippek. He has since left, and I run HQ now with 3 curators. The visual arts curator now is Jordan Mang. And I created 2 additional curatorial roles as well. There's performance and events curator, which Alden Rivendale Jones works as, and then Will Elder is the print and experiment curator.
What a title.
Right? Yeah, he came up with that. He sent me a text one day and was just like, I have it. I know what I want to be called. I want to be called the print and experiment curator.
I never thought, what would I title myself?
Yeah, it's a strange kind of phenomenon when you have to self-label yourself. Label yourself.
Yeah.
Because we're always resistant of, like, pigeonholing ourselves into this one description, especially as artists. Like, you know, we go through our whole art school or, like, formal training, and we're told to, like, don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in just, like, one position. Expand, explore. And then when you get into a position like this, they're just like, well, what do you do? Like, what do you do in less than 5 words? Like, what's your job title, essentially?
Just everyday maker, doer, thinker.
Right. Hustler, you know.
I'm going to start pulling some questions. This one seems good to me. What are you? Can you describe your relationship between your administrative and curatorial practices? Does writing play a role in that relationship?
Writing definitely plays a role in my curation. And I've actually gone through a lot of different styles, I guess, of curation. And I started out coming straight out of art school. The first thing that I did was not make more work, but find a space to show other people's work. So I still had all of that kind of art school jargon floating around in there. Still, and I tried to be that. Over the past 50, 60 years, there's been a rise of the conceptual curator. And I did that for a little bit, but the more I started to do it, the more I began to question its ethics. And using other artists' work juxtaposed with each other to kind of tell my own narrative, rather than making sure that the artist's work stands on its own. And so now when I look to curate, I mostly like to do solo shows. and let the artists just fill the space as much or as little as they would like.
Which is a really great opportunity for artists. Every time I go to HQ, there's one I want to go.
Thank you.
That sounds bad. I love seeing art, but sometimes it feels like you gotta go.
Yeah.
But every time I go to HQ, I want to go, and I don't really know what I will interact with. There might be playlists on an iPod that I can listen to, or a beautiful heart-shaped tub, gray and white swirl with a ladder coming out of it. I mean, that was the best moment. That was such a good day. There's the sense of play and excitement that really comes out of HQ that I really appreciate.
Thank you. All of my curators are artists or creative-minded people first, curator second. I was an artist first, curator second. And it allows us to have this great leeway and tremendous play when working with the artists, because we're not trying to sell anything.
Yeah.
All we want is the artist to be happy with the work that they put up. And if the artist is happy with the work they put up, then it's a successful show. Press is great, whatever. If somebody wants to buy a piece, that's fine. But that's all secondary. That's all tertiary goals. Our main focus is just to let the artist do what the artist wants to do.
Would there ever be a moment where something is pitched and it maybe doesn't align with the general aesthetic of what has shown before? Would that still be a go?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think we have a general aesthetic.
Okay.
We've had some crazy shows. Our first show was by Mario Gallucci, and he painted meat everywhere. All on the walls. He brought in a stop sign that had 6 sides that was painted, that had a steak painted on it. He took a Nike and textured it with meat. Yeah, it was everywhere. He completely filled up the space. And then our next show had a lot of plants in it. And then, every show is different. We've had social practice in there. Chris built a boxing ring and fought Hannah Piper Burns. It's really whatever.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about it, is we don't have to adhere to a specific style or genre.
Right. What is the most fulfilling aspect of your practice?
Watching a show open. That's great. I love our openings. I love seeing people come through and get excited about the work that's being shown. And having conversations about it with their friends, with the artists, with us. That is the best part, hands down. Whenever I get frustrated and stressed by doing this, which is often, I just think about that, and that kind of helps, that talks me down from the ledge a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah. Is there a specific work that you've made or curated or helped come about in the last 5 years that felt like a turning point or a new touchstone, raising the bar?
Is it a cop-out to say HQ?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If it's what you think.
Yeah.
If it's what your answer is.
I guess 2 answers then. I guess the thing that led to HQ might have been the turning point, which is my thesis work for undergrad. And it was very much based in the curation of objects. And through doing that, got me more into just curating in general, which led to the founding of HQ in part. And then with actually doing HQ, I think John Knight's show might have been a big turning point. For that show, he actually assumed the role of director and employed us to make his work, which was then hung in a closing reception.
I don't think I know about that project.
He wrote a story about, a little children's story, about a chicken and a hog, and they see a sign that says ham and eggs 25 cents, and the chicken says, "What a bargain, we could do that, we can make a lot of money doing that." And the pig responds, "Well, for you it's all in a day's work to lay an egg, but for me it's a great sacrifice." And so we had to make a series of paintings based off of the mean hog carcass price per day. He gave us $100 in quarters to like throw on a canvas and paint around them, and then we had to do figurative paintings of the fable, and so every day we were turning out at least 2 paintings.
Oh wow!
And yeah, and then he came in at the end of the show, at the end of the production, and said, "I'm only going to show some of them." He had changed his mind, and just gave a whole new kind of power dynamic to what the project was, and like it was kind of an eye opener for myself. Like, well, shit, he's the director; he can do that.
Yeah.
Like, realizing that I can go in and change an artist's work, like that's insane to me. That is insane to me.
No one man should have all that power.
Yes.
What has made you stay in Portland?
It's allowing me to do HQ. I mean, sure, the visibility is potentially higher in New York, but at the same time, who cares? We have the internet. Like, we have people from New York come over to see the space, and they're like, "I've been following you guys for months." The first time that happened was actually really funny, because we were just like, "You know who we are? Like, we're just this little hole-in-the-wall space," yeah. But it looks so professional on the internet. Portland in general has a big DIY culture. Mm-hmm. But the art scene here is responding, I think, really positively to that. Because these older galleries that have been, such staples here for so long, they have their rotation. Mm-hmm. It's very hard for a young artist out of school to experiment and show in the city without the artist space. And because of all these new spaces popping up, and especially with what Surplus is doing, giving grants to people to start, home galleries. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more experimentation.
Oh, this is excellent. Mm. I love this random polling because it usually works out so well. Okay. What is your favorite exhibition space in Portland?
All right, I'm going to have to answer this one on 2 different tiers, because there's the establishment and then there's the artist-run space. Mm-hmm. My favorite, established exhibition space that has a lot of funding, is probably Yale Union. What they're doing in that building is phenomenal. I think the city needs something like that. I think, as much as this isn't like a smack talk on Pica or anything, I love Pica very dearly, but I think there needs to be more of that. Pica needs competition.
Yeah.
And I think Yale Union is providing that because they both fill different niches, but because they're 2 of the only big organizations in town, it's really interesting to see kind of how they inadvertently communicate.
Have a conversation.
I like that Yale Union is so much more than an exhibition space. It's that whole building. It's everything.
It's a recording studio.
Yeah. It's a publishing house. It's artist studios. It's everything.
One-stop shop, Mall of America.
It's a huge inspiration. That's what I would love to see HQ transform into something of that magnitude someday. Mm-hmm. And the quality of shows that they put on too is extraordinary. Mm-hmm. I've never been disappointed seeing an exhibition there. Mm-hmm. And as for the artist-run space, I think S1 is really top-notch in my book right now. I think they're another one of those everything-style one-stop shops.
Yeah. The workshops?
Yeah, the workshops, the DJ nights, the readings, the whatever they want to do, they do it.
Yeah.
And I really admire that they don't let anything stop them. And they're super legal about everything too, which is awesome. They're not just throwing underground warehouse raves. Yeah. They're using it as fundraiser. They have fire marshal permits and everything. It's crazy how above the book they are.
Yeah.
And
all right, so this is This is one of my favorites. Complete the sentence. If you like blank, then you will like my work.
If you like Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart, then you'll like my work. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you like listening to an album on repeat so many times that it starts to mean something to you, then you'll like my work.
Excellent. Ooh. If you could go back and give yourself advice, what would it be?
I would have to tell myself to be more open-minded, but don't be so trusting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't be so closed off, because when I first started school, I started as a printmaker, and I was so about, like, the craft. It's like, it's got to be this tangible, like, I have to come off with this really nice, perfect print at the end. And then through the course of school, I went completely digital at a certain point, and I was doing only digital work, and, like, that was the turning point, and I wish I would have, like, started exploring that, you know, earlier on. I think it would have, you know, helped my time through school a little bit more. But I think I would also tell myself to go to a state school and not a private school, and double major.
Ooh,
in
what would
art
you...
and business. I just wish I would have gone to... I wish I would have majored in, like, business administration as well. Especially now, getting more into the arts administration side of it. I think a lot of that would have helped a very, very rocky, you know, learning curve.
Yeah.
It would have saved a lot of stress.
Yeah.
A lot of headaches.
Okay. How would you define your aesthetic?
I don't even know what it is anymore. I haven't made, like, a piece of personal work in almost 2 years now. But if I were to make something now, I would say the artist book is my aesthetic. I do a lot of writing now, and I've been wanting to do a book for a while as, like, my next project. I just haven't... And a book of poetry, nonetheless. I just haven't found the time to, like, do the editing or finish writing the poems. But it's kind of a return to what I, like, believed in pretty heavily when I started school, like the tangible, the physical. Because I spend so much time on my computer now.
Yeah, reading on the internet, I can't do that.
It's
I
hard.
can. I'm really into sounds. And
That's an interesting statement.
and trying out different sounds in order to create a mood. And so I've been doing, like, experiments where I just listen to, like, brown noise and see how long I can, like, really be into something. And then there's so many applications. I've got ones that just do whale sounds.
It's actually really funny that you bring that up, because I when I work, I listen to a lot of ASMR videos on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah.
Have we talked about this?
I don't think so.
Oh my god!
I'm a huge junkie for it. Because all my work is at my computer now, and I do a lot of website coding. And when you're designing websites, you're, like, very focused and in the zone, and so I just like to have ASMR playing in my really nice headphones to, like, crinkling tinfoil, or, like, tapping. Nails tapping is a big one for me.
Oh my god.
And, like, inaudible whispers. That gets me in the best place.
I am so floored.
Really?
That we have not talked about this.
Are you an ASMR junkie as well?
Yes! Yes! That's one of my newest projects. Well, I've been doing experiments of making my own ASMR videos. And I've got a YouTube, but I haven't started uploading, but it's studio ASMR.
Nice.
And it's just objects from my studio. I'm really picky. I'm picky when I listen to my ASMR.
Me too. It has to be perfect.
So I'm picky about making it, and I had this brilliant take. And a bus drove by the building
No.
and just... Sorry, girl.
Tanked it. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm so picky about what I listen to. It has to be like a very specific thing, and only that if I'm in the mood for only that.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk. I don't want to hear you talk if I'm just in the mood for nails tapping.
Yeah.
Like, it throws me out of it.
Yeah. I get that way if I haven't slept in a while and I really just want to listen to ASMR, and I'm in my bed and I'm like, yes, this is what I think I want. And then something change, I like immediately, I'm like, no, start scrolling more, more. And I, especially when I'm grumpy and tired, that's when I'm just like, no.
This is not right.
No. Or like something happens to where the audio shifts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could have done better. Why did you
Disappointing
Why
me.
did you even upload this? And I think it's also art school. fucked me hard on this one.
Super critical.
It's just like, why did you upload this?
I haven't thought a lot.
You should have really, and why didn't you set the scene?
Yeah.
Do you get body tingles?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's the whole point, right?
It is the whole point. But there are so many people who I talk to who they're like, no, I can't. Like, I don't get it.
Really?
Yeah, and people have actually told me, like, it's not common for people to, like, get the tingles. Like, it's not like, not like the most common. Like, a lot of people listen just for the soft-spoken relaxation.
Okay. So like the meditative aspect of it.
Yeah, but I definitely get the body tingles.
Yeah, I get them like behind, like right here a lot.
Yeah.
Which is wow. I didn't realize that not a lot of people got that.
That's what someone told me.
Wild.
And also it just could be personality, because I know I've tried to talk to people about ASMR and I've like sent different videos, and it's just a matter of like realizing you're gonna feel weird at first, but you're alone and you're just listening to these videos and there's nothing wrong with that. So like, just let go. Yeah. All right, on to the next one, as Jay-Z would say. Singularity, yay or nay?
I think it depends on the context of the singularity. Like universal singularity, hell yeah, crush me back into that little speck of matter. Awesome. That's such a mind-blowing concept.
You were talking about singularity in terms of physics, but I think what I was getting at, or I know what I was getting at, was robots and humans becoming one, or humans and technology just becoming one.
Okay.
Singular unit. Upload.
I'm an amateur physicist.
Oh, I got a BFA in painting, so...
I got a BFA in printmaking, but I like Wikipedia a whole lot. But yeah, in physics, singularity is like the universe becoming one.
Yeah.
Like starting from that really impossibly immensely dense point that everything is smaller than an atom. Everything in the universe is in that one little point. And then, the Big Bang and right.
Started from the bottom.
The bottom. Now my whole team is here. But robots and humans, computers, I am fascinated by that singularity. I'm terrified because you're relinquishing, a part of you that you've never been asked to relinquish before, which is your humanity.
Yeah. That's
terrifying, but also what we could do if we can do 7 trillion calculations a second is awesome. That's so cool. I think once we figure out quantum computing, that'll be the next big leap forward, but that I don't know how close they are. That's a hard one. How do you predict the unpredictable? Right? Exactly.
I went to art school.
That's why we're not computer engineers.
It just got real. What was the last work that you saw that made you think, dang, I wish I would have thought about that? Or thought of that?
It would have to be a piece by Eli Copeland, who I saw at Surplus Space recently. He had this piece that was a magnet and a chain mounted to the ceiling, and the chain, it was like just like a ball chain that went all the way down to the floor. And it was hooked up to a computer, and the computer was generating a random number between 1 and 64,000. And when it hit the right number, the magnet would release the chain and the chain would fall. And they got 64,000 from, that's the amount of seconds that the show would be open. So it's got a 1 in 64,000 chance of falling. Mm-hmm. I love that because I don't know if it's true. You're asking so much of the viewer to have faith that this has a 1 in 64,000th chance of falling. Because as artists, we're always asking the viewer to be trusting. Believe in my work, believe in this thing that I'm, showing to you, telling you. And he's just saying, like, you have to. That's it. You have no choice. If you want to look at this piece, you have to believe in it.
What is your workflow like? How do you set yourself up to make work? What are the absolute necessary items that you need?
My work is all computer-based nowadays, pretty much. So I have to be the social media coordinator, the brander, the designer, the director, the administrator, all of those things. And I would say that the absolute necessary tools that I need are ASMR videos. And my computer. I use an iMac. I work a lot. I've been working a lot in Dreamweaver, and you need to see what you're doing and how it affects it. And on a little screen, you're constantly having to
dig around.
Dig around, and it's so annoying. Everything laid out for me is just so nice. Mm-hmm. And I've also been using this program called FontForge to custom design the letters for HQ. And you need like 3 different windows of that open, and that needs to be spread out as well, so you're not like shifting back and forth. So I'm dependent on my technology.
Well, that is the end, and it concludes our talk. So we're gonna bubble it out.
All right. Oh, I'm sitting right on the jet. Perfect. I was not expecting that.